Hello everyone, it's Sarah Oblick Spiker here, and today's message is coming on the wings of the one that I shared with you the other day, where we were talking about this fear that if we, perceived fear that somehow picking up and stepping into this next level that we're calling in would be too heavy of a burden to carry, too heavy of a load, and that we wouldn't be able to sustain it. If you missed this live, I invite you to scroll down my newsfeed and you'll find it right there. But today I wanted to take it a step further. And today's contemplation has been inspired by several messages that I received as a result, as a response to that initial live stream. And two in particular really stood out for me, and I wanted to address them. A person wrote and said, I was in tears because I could feel the heaviness, and it has been the story of my life, shedding the old skin and painfully stepping and growing the new one. And it was the word painfully that really caught my attention. So let's talk about that. I am no stranger to deep transformative work. I have transformed myself numerous times, and I'm continuously transforming myself. It is the work that I do with my clients. And one of the things that I have witnessed that makes it much more difficult and painful and prolongs the whole process are the so-called hooks that are keeping us in the old ways. And those hooks, those anchors, the shackles, they are our thoughts, they are our stories, they are the old beliefs, they are the old patterns. So my invitation for today is to really take a moment and look into what is that we're telling ourselves, and simply ask a question that I had start to ask myself every single time that I was going through this process of transformation, and I would feel, it's not happening fast enough, this is too difficult, this is too heavy, this is too crazy, right? Am I making choices? Am I making my decisions? Am I taking my actions based on the evidence, or is it based on some stories that I kept telling myself? And here's the part when it comes to the evidence. Evidence is always going to be there. Evidence to make your case for, or the evidence to make your case against. So again, it comes down to our own choices. What do we choose to look for? See, when we are looking for the evidence, when we're making our case against something, we are looking for all the previous signs of our failures, of all the times that we have been hurt. I had a conversation with a very powerful woman who admitted, with resistance, but admitted that she finally opened up her heart to somebody against the better judgment, as she put it. And said, and I knew it, I should have known better, the person betrayed me. And again, was it the evidence that she chose to look, see, I was right again, I should have opened up my heart, I shouldn't have gotten down this path, I should have stayed close, I should have put the walls up, and I should have kept my guard up. But again, what if the evidence was there that, it was the perfect timing, and it was the divine gift to open up, to invite this person in, to gift yourself the opportunity to open up again, to feel again, to love again. And what if the person did not betray? What if they not abandoned? What if they created a space now for somebody to walk in and create a new experience with? Or in business, we are so quick to judge ourselves. I'm incapable of doing this, I'm incapable of doing that. Every single time that I try to reach out, I get burnt out. Every single time I attempt to do this project, I fail and I lose, whatever the story, right? What if looking for different evidence can now support our different approach to shedding this old skin and releasing those hooks? Because at the end of the day, it is really plain and simple. And this is something I'm going to leave you with for today. At the end of the day, our results, the outcomes, the frequency at which we vibrate is determined by the way we think. Because each and every one of the thoughts, and we think about 60 to 65,000 thoughts per day. And I read statistics somewhere that says 90% of those thoughts are the same ones as they were yesterday, as they were last week, as they were last month. But our thoughts determine and activate our feelings that then turn into emotions. And emotions are what really dictate and determines the frequency at which we vibrate. But those emotions also inspire actions. And from those actions, when we do something repeatedly, we develop habits. And out of those habits, we create the outcomes. So when we're seeking the evidence for or against something, we think of those evidences, we develop the stories and habits of, ultimately it comes down to self-betrayal. And we are continuing this cycle. And of course it becomes comfortable because it's what we know. And on a more spiritual and energetic level, now we were talking about, the soul part. There are parts where the soul is familiar with, and it's gonna become a default setting, so to speak, in our life, and we're gonna be defaulting to those habits. And then there's what the soul is here to learn, and those are the new ones. Those are the ones that we're breaking out to and acquiring and learning. And it feels difficult. It feels like a challenge. So it's literally pulling out those hooks that are pulling us back to the default so that we can acquire, learn, master this new way, new level. That's where this friction happens. And again, it comes down to our choices. It simply comes down to our thoughts. And it simply comes down to our choosing the evidence versus story. And a simple question, is this really true? Am I coming to these conclusions? Am I taking this action? What is this decision based on? Once, when we start holding ourselves accountable to that level, things start changing and shifting rather quickly. And this is the part of the accountability that I will dedicate a whole different live stream for that one. But accountability, this is this high level accountability. When we hold ourselves accountable and those in our circles to the actions and to emotions and to realignment to the frequency that is congruent with who is it we're becoming and stepping into and calling in. It's not so much about the accountability of making sure to push through and hustle and grind in order to, check off all these boxes in order to follow all these 5 predetermined steps or whatever it is, the typical association with accountability, and make sure you show up every morning and go working out because you said that you were going to be working out. It is a higher level of accountability. Does this feel good, and does it make you feel good, and is this in congruence with what is it you're creating? And you feel called towards creating, and you feel called towards bringing it in and stepping into. So to bring back the whole circle, this is where the self-mastery comes in. And the self-mastery, side note, is a process also. It's not a final destination, by the way. But it is really the deciding factor. It's really the difference between this process taking a long time and being super uncomfortable and super dreadful and super painful, or it is becoming a journey, an experience that is full of excitement, and it's our perception of seeing it as a glorious opportunity to master something new, to experience something new, to release something new, to acquire something new. Again, it comes down to our thinking and our perception. So let me know if you have any questions around that. I promise that no matter where in your journey you are, no matter on the so-called scale of success, right? When somebody else or you might be measuring yourself against others. we all are experiencing this. We are humans. We are all experiencing this to some degree. The difference becomes our perception again, and the value and the weight that we assign to those changes, and our perception of, if I grow, if I evolve, if I step up, the more is at risk, the higher, the more successful I am. So I know how stressful this whole process can be, how uncertain this whole process can be. And yet again, it simply becomes the matter of choosing. What are we choosing the evidence of, and what kind of evidence are we gathering, and basing our choices on. So like I said, if you have any questions, if this is something that you feel you need to be supported with throughout the whole process, let me know. It is something that I have been doing for many years, not just for myself, but also it's been an integral part of the work with each and every one of my clients. And I'm more than happy to sit down with you and see what you need and how to go from there. All you have to do is, again, ask. And there's no right or wrong, first and foremost, and secondly, you deserve to be supported in that way. And no matter, again, where on the scale, proverbial scale, no matter where you are being a human being. And the sooner you stop resisting this, the sooner you stop judging yourself and beating yourself over and thinking you should know better than ... right? The easier and more joyful and more fulfilling and more exciting and glorious this whole experience will become. Again, the choice is yours. Take care.